Hello, class. My name is Alda Velasco, and today we'll be continuing our discussion on the Gothic unit. I have titled my synthesis on three articles I researched, calling it Modern Horror, Colonialism, Eugenics, and the Gothic Revival in Latinx Horror. The first article we'll be talking about is titled Gothic Becomes Latin America's Go-To Genre as Writers Turn to the Dark Side. It discusses the rise of Gothic fiction in Latin American literature. According to the article published in 2021, written by Matt Yuki, there has been a notable shift in Latin America's literary landscape, moving away from its traditional association with magical realism. Yuki writes, they take their inspiration from the dictatorships and terrorism of the late 20th century, the poverty and the violence of the region's modern cities, and the most sinister elements of the region's rich but neglected folklore. Writers like Mariana Enriquez, which the article talks about, her works like The Dangers of Smoking in Bed reflect a sense of fear and horror from 1980s ecological disasters, rising crimes, and protest movements across the region of Argentina. Mariana Enriquez and other Latin American writers writing Gothic horror represent a kind of resurgence. It's a kind of resurgence that is long steeped in the works of Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft. These writers are both influenced by both the trauma of past political violence and hegemonic power structures, to then reflecting that on the ongoing challenges of modern Latin America. The second article, titled Dark Sangre, 5 Latinx Horror Writers You Should Know, published in 2020 by Anne Davila Cardinal, specifically discusses Latinx authors who are contributing to the horror genre. The article underscores the growing yet still underrepresented presence of Latinx writers and mainstream horror literature, emphasizing how these authors are blending cultural traditions and histories into their works. It explores how Latinx horror often reflects these broader themes of social justice, of colonialism, identity, and the supernatural, offering unique perspectives on horror that diverge from the typical Western horror narrative. So, Cardinal in the article highlights 5 Latinx horror writers whose works are making significant contributions in the genre. So, of course, Silvia Moreno Garcia, known for her best-selling novel Mexican Gothic, which we will be reading in class soon. Moreno Garcia blends Gothic horror with elements of Mexican culture and folklore. Her works explore the tension between old-world traditions and modern societal norms, particularly within the context of colonialism and its lasting impact. Cardinal then goes on to highlight other authors such as Gabino Iglesias, with works like Coyote Songs and The Devil Takes You Home, and then V. Castro, who has written The Queen of Cicadas, Mireya Loza, and then lastly, Raul III, known for Vamos, Let's Go Eat, blending together lighthearted themes with spooky or fantastical elements. Very fun. The article stresses the richness of Latinx horror and how these authors utilize the genre to address complex societal issues while providing a new lens through which to view horror. Their works often tackle themes of colonialism, identity, cultural heritage, and societal alienation, offering a horror that feels both personal and politically charged. The article urges readers to explore the works of these writers to gain a broader understanding of the diverse narratives shaping the future of the horror genre. Now moving on to my last article by NPR, titled Colonialism, Eugenics, and Downright Terror in Mexican Gothic, published in 2020 by Leah Danella. This article is an interview with Silvia Moreno Garcia on her book, Mexican Gothic. Now, I'll try not to spoil too much, of course, but the novel blends traditional Gothic horror with themes of colonialism, social power dynamics, and eugenics, which is really cool. Set in 1950s Mexico, the story follows Naomi Taboada. Hope I'm saying that right. She's a young socialite who travels to a remote mountain town to help her cousin, only to uncover disturbing secrets about the family and their ties to colonial legacies. The novel explores the sinister influence of a British family who once controlled the town, adding layers of racial and imperial tension. The article/interview highlights how Mexican Gothic shifts the Gothic genre by setting it in Mexico and confronting historical oppression, making the supernatural horrors personal and again very politically charged. And these are just some questions to consider while we continue in our Gothic unit and once we start reading Mexican Gothic. So, what role do the supernatural elements play in symbolizing historical trauma in the story? I'm talking about Mexican Gothic. How does Mexican Gothic address themes of colonialism and its impact on contemporary society? How do the supernatural elements in Latinx Gothic fiction, like in Mexican Gothic, serve as metaphors for real world societal issues such as inequality and oppression? So let's recap. The rise of Gothic horror within Latinx and Latin American literature represents a powerful shift in how authors are exploring the intersection of history, of trauma, identity, folklore. Um, Through these themes of colonialism, eugenics, the supernatural, again, folklore, history, writers are reshaping this genre, drawing on both their cultural heritage and the very haunting legacies of political violence. As we've seen in the works discussed, authors like Moreno Garcia and Mariana Enriquez are using the Gothic genre to confront the past and its ongoing impact on contemporary society. This evolving genre not only challenges traditional notions of horror, but provides a platform for addressing social issues, offering a new macabre lens through which to view the complexities of Latinx and Latin American experiences. Just my work side, so that's all I have for you today. So thank you. Have a good day.